Oh, hello to all the subscribers, and especially people who've asked questions recently, which I've tried to answer. Just hello from the orchard here in Old Hampshire, Old England, on the first Saturday of November, which is a sunny day. It's a momentous weekend because this is the weekend we sell out of apples. I'll say a bit more about that later. Ideally, we would not be selling out of apples as early as this, but we had one or two major crop failures this year, largely due to build up of fungal disease, us not putting in a critical amount of fungicide application at the right time for various other family and other work reasons. Hey, never mind, I earn good money for my job in the NHS, and we can afford to run this orchard at a loss. But we will have grown and sold, we think, about 7 tonnes of fruit this year, and we have more than exceeded our economic aspirations for the year, and we've held on to a lot of regular customers, so that makes a good year. I'm in our little pear orchard now. If you go back over some of the videos I've posted in the last year and a half, this area where I'm standing at this, or walking at this very moment, 2 years ago exactly, there was a load of Bramley apples and Sunset here. We worked out we had too many Sunset. Sunset, I've said a bit about in videos. It's a very good apple, but we find that the texture becomes melting or soft within a few weeks of storage. It will keep until Christmas, but it begins to get a bit soft within 2 weeks, and some people really don't like that. I mean, it's a great apple, but anyway, we had too many of them. We had more than every year we were throwing them away because we couldn't sell them all at our markets before they became unsaleable. So we were chucking them away, we were making them into cider, which wasn't that good cider. And we also had a lot of Bramleys here because the soil was so rich. The Bramleys were growing too strongly, and it was all leaf and growth and no fruit, and they weren't doing very well for us, and people kept asking us for pears. So what we did, and I'm labouring this point because I think it's very important, if you're lumbered with unproductive trees, or trees that maybe are productive but you can't use them, then, unless you are sort of 85 and very, very frail, then there is a very great deal to be said for cutting them all down, getting them all out and replanting. So we kept getting asked for pears. So guess what? We cut down the Bramleys and the Sunset, and we've replanted with pears. These trees were planted, they were 2-year-old, but rather small, very small actually, when we planted them in March 2008. Some of these were planted by children. We had a work party out here, and so I think that's a real blessing. I find that pears grow very similarly to apples, but they are more suited to growing as pyramids. Please don't ask me why, because I just don't have enough technical knowledge to really answer that question. But everybody recognises that pears grow better as pyramids, although you can grow them as cordons. As regular subscribers know, we're growing some pears as espaliers, and they've done extremely well. But these have been grown as pyramids. Somebody asked me, why have these pears got loads of fruit buds on? Because I've got a pear tree that's 7 years old and is only 6 feet tall and doesn't have any fruit bud. I can't explain that. These were planted 18 months ago. As you can see, they are 6 feet tall, and a lot of them have got fruit buds right to the tip, actually. They're growing quite well this year. That's grown about 18 inches from that's the point of last year. This is the 2008 wood, and that's the annual growth ring sort of scar. Well, it's not a growth ring, but you know what I mean. And from there onwards, that's the 2009 wood, and you see the 2008 wood is completely festooned with fruit buds. Fruit bud, fruit bud, fruit bud. There's just loads and loads of fruit buds. The principle of growing a pyramid is that you keep the centre leader dominant. You may prune it back if necessary. I'm not going to prune these actually in this coming year. I may thin them up very slightly, but you maintain the central leader. You probably need to put a stake in, and I'm intending to stake these, just to put a tall upright stake parallel to the main trunk and just tie the tree in. That means that the tree won't fall over if it ends up carrying a heavy weight of fruit. And these lateral branches, hopefully A lot of these are quite upright. This one, for example, is very upright, but as it fruits, we hope it'll bend over and spread out like that. Some people, when they're planning and developing pyramid trees, they use branch spreaders, you know, things that, you know, bits of wood or plastic to actually stick in like that, you know, to force the branches up. I don't have that energy, quite frankly, and I'm not too bothered. But anyway, so here's our little pear orchard. There were 4 or 5 pears on these trees this year. Mostly I snipped them off, but this coming year, 2010, we earnestly hope all of these fruit buds, which are on 2-year-old wood, and in some cases we've got some fruit buds on this year's wood, which is really amazing. And these upright branches, which hopefully the weight of fruit will bend over at an angle. But anyhow, if God grants us all another year, and I'm still free to do so, I'll put some videos up and show you how these 34 trees develop. But of interest, it's worth noting, 2 years ago, 24 months ago, this area where I'm standing, which now contains about 33 pear trees, contained about 40 apple trees, which were quite large, but which were not suitable to us. We were not making any money from them. They weren't sort of rare heritage apples. So although they were young and healthy and vigorous trees, they weren't actually paying. So we hardened our hearts, we rolled up our sleeves, we sharpened our axes and pruning saws, metaphorically, and got rid of them and planted over to something more useful. So that's what we did. Of course, everyone has to make their own decisions about you know, what to do, but that's something that we did, and I'll show you some more film if I'm able to. Again, you see all of these very upright growths. We're hoping that the natural weight of the fruit this coming year will pull these down, and the central leader will be held upright by a stake I'm aiming to put in. Okay.